This is the quiet part. The work is already done. The training, the combine, the grind nobody filmed. All that's left now is the decision. Welcome to draft day. But don't get it twisted. They didn't wake up here. They worked their way here. Before the lights, before the cameras, before the names ever got called, there were early mornings, empty fields, late nights in the weight room, film sessions that ran long, routes run one more time, reps taken when nobody was watching. They trained like every drill was a verdict, every 40, every rep, every cut, measured, clocked, judged. Some climbed draft boards, some fell. Some fought just to be seen. This isn't about hype, it's about proof. Tonight, 32 franchises are on the clock. Apex, Nexus, general managers with boards full of questions and futures hanging on a single name. And it could be yours. When the work is done, when the training stops, when the wait is finally over, there's only one thing left. You don't get drafted on potential. You get drafted on what you earn. And from here on out, you have to prove it all over again. Welcome to the Football Rivals Pro League Draft.
Welcome to the 2026 Football Rivals Pro League Draft. The Buffalo Brawls are now on the clock.
And here we are. Once again, we are ready for another draft. It feels like we were just here, but this time I have got company. My good friend, Oscar Lewis. How are you doing tonight, Oscar? Well, I am doing fantastic, but I think, hold on just a second, I may have actually left you on red, good buddy. Hold on just a second here as we're making sure this is why we are ready and doing it live ahead of some technical difficulties. Let's make sure we have got our buddy here. I should be able to hear you now. Can you try again now for us, Oscar?
Hello, Football Rivals fans!
Yeah, we have got you now, good buddy, and let me tell you.
There we go.
We have got quite a few things cooking up for you here on draft night. Like we said, it's 2026. Now is the time, but we've got a few special treats for all of our fans who are here watching live. Thank you so much for watching, and give yourself a little pat on the back if you're here with us now. But let us show you some of the fun that we've got lined up tonight. As you know, League HQ is our new sponsor, and League HQ is allowing you, Oscar, to put your best bets board together. Can you tell us a little bit about the best bets board?
But it is my best bets.
I did it to you again, buddy. I'm sorry I had you muted. Could you tell us again one more time about your best bets board? I promise it won't happen again.
Killing me tonight, man. I said it is, whether you love it or hate it, it is Oscar's best bets. It's the board that can make the biggest impact based on who's left. It's not necessarily who I think will go or where you should go, but it's saying these guys on the board for Oscar's best bets are, in fact, the best bets for any GM to pick up and make an impact from day one.
Absolutely. And when we talk about making an impact, that's also what you see below with the prospect visualizer. We've got the guy that we assume is probably going to start things off. But as you know, if you don't know, the prospect visualizer allows you to compare multiple players. So we're incredibly excited to have that technology available to us tonight, thanks to League HQ. But in the meantime, what do you think? Is it time to get rolling?
Yeah, man, just one more shout out. That League HQ is a game changer for Football Rivals League. No other league out there has it. It is the spot to be, and our Pro League GMs will be able to run their teams directly out of it. It is insane.
Absolutely. Amen for that. Being able to control your team all from one place. That's League HQ. And I think now, without further ado, are you ready for this?
Let's go.
Let's get into it, because it looks like Commissioner Back is about to walk back out, and let's hear what he has to say.
Okay, here we go. With the first pick in the 2026 draft, the Buffalo Brawlers select Burt Bean, quarterback, Michigan.
Well, that's not too much of a surprise, is it, pal?
No shock there. Burt Bean is the unanimous guy that almost everyone except for one kid out there thought that everyone was going to get in the first pick.
Well, when you talk about Burt Bean, you talk about a national championship winner, a high football IQ, a true dual threat, a versatile passer. He will take some dangerous attempts, though. He's a bit of a gunslinger. Tell us more about Burt Bean.
Now, Burt Bean is a 2-year starter for the University of Michigan. He was, and that does, regardless of what players want to think, the multiple-year stat. Going with the guy that could be the next 10 to 15-year quarterback for the Buffalo Brawlers.
Absolutely. When you talk about quarterback class, it is certainly a talented one this year, but he seems to stand above the rest.
Yeah, you can see there on the analyzer that you were talking about, the visualizer. I mean, he's filling out the whole design there. My mind went blank and myself too on the clock.
Well, let's talk about this for a moment. Doug Baxter, GM of the Brawlers, said he has a formula, and there were 4 must-have traits. One of them being a senior captain, being a 2-year starter, having stats over 60% completion and 2-to-1 touchdown ratio. And GM Doug Baxter said if you got all those 3, you can move on to the next level, which is having the right stuff, those intangibles, the moxie, the grit. Guys believe in him. Why do you think he'll be able to hit the ground running as a pro, Oscar, or do you think he needs to sit behind guys like Huntington and Paulson?
I mean, if anyone's been paying attention to the League HQ, they know that Huntington is in town. I think they just signed another guy also. Name's eluding me right now. But Burt Bean will start day 1. If he does not, then the Brawlers have wasted the number 1 pick.
And we know they took a lot to climb up here to get that pick. They had the number 32 overall pick in the draft after winning the Rivals Cup in our inaugural season. But now they were able to real deal shed a lot of utility players and a lot of franchise players like Andrew Frost. And now their first pick of kind of that hall of Andrew Frost trade picks is Burt Bean. Are you curious to see what they do here tonight? They've got a lot of draft capital.
With the
There's
second
a lot of
pick
teams and a
in
lot
the
of players. Let's go see these
2026
pictures.
draft, the Mexico City Firebirds select Brian Pillman III, linebacker.
Oh, is that our first surprise early? Brian Pillman.
In my first mock, I had Brian Pillman III going to Mexico City, and it looks like they did go with the need, and it is a need they do have. They need an outside linebacker, and this is again a 2-year starter at the University of Nebraska, the Cornhuskers. You saw his strengths and weaknesses there. He is a ball player.
He sure is, and when you talk about a guy being a 2-year player, he's got over 200 tackles, 60 tackles for loss, 18 pass breakups in the past 2 seasons. Why wasn't he maybe on more GM's boards?
I think Nebraska just didn't have a lot of public games this year. Last year they were a highly publicized team, and this year they just didn't have the go as pick 3 for the Houston Hoplites are up on the clock. But I think the Cornhuskers just didn't get the TV time they needed this year.
With the third pick of the 2026
Here you go.
draft,
Is this one you guessed too? We'll find out.
LeVart Nick the third quarterback.
And there it is. He didn't have to wait long, did he?
Yeah, as you see, LeVart, the in his own mind, number 1 pick of the whole league, the Hoplites, with I don't know what to say here. I mean, he does have some strengths and weaknesses. He has 1 year of tape. I mean,
but it's national championship winning tape.
It is, and the team around him, for what it's worth, the team around him was also national championship award-winning players. And Vic is now a Hoplite, presumably to start. So
yeah, I mean they've
here
only
we go,
got
boys. Strap in.
The veteran Nate Garland at quarterback is the only other option there, and he is pretty long in the tooth. So you got to think that they're going to give him a chance pretty early.
I mean, absolutely. Again, just like with the Burt Bean pick, if you moved up this far, you're gonna start the kid as the Prowlers are up.
With the 4th pick of the 2026 draft, the Pittsburgh Prowlers select Bo Bubba Williams.
Wow, look at that. FSU
Heavy lunch bunch.
That's right, the heavy lunch bunch. The first one goes, and back-to-back Florida State players here in round 1 at the top. Tell us about Bo Bubba Williams.
Bo Bubba Williams his strength is not just high motor. He ate the damn motor and spit it out. As this kid and Kai Latham, who we should see later, go early. Bo Bubba Williams in this defense. This is the reason why the Seminoles are national champions.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about 2 defensive linemen who really were more interior players, but Bo Bubba maybe a quality 3-4 defensive end, you think?
Oh, absolutely. He's got the intangibles. He's got the skills. Whoever gets him, now we know the Prowlers. The Prowlers can move him in and out. Substitutions and boom, as you see the replay there. I just love watching this kid. I love defense, man. But he is gonna be a beast.
Pick in the 2026 draft, the Buffalo Brawlers select Chucky Knox.
Michigan captains for Buffalo, 2 Michigan men going in the top 5. Chucky Knox. You talked about him a lot. Tell us some more about the captain of the Michigan defense.
Yeah, I mean, everybody knew that Burt Bean was going number 1, but Chucky Knox is the number 1 draft pick in this draft.
You think so?
He is a monster as we see these replays. He can fall back, make interceptions, deflect the ball, stuff the run, sack the quarterback. This guy has it all.
Yeah, you could argue the one thing he lacks is top-end speed, but he brings everything else. And on top of that, he brings just being a captain of the defense. Put him next to Ramon Sanchez in the middle of that hybrid 3-4 defense for the Brawlers. And look at that hit. Buffalo could be looking scary with these first 2 picks alone off of the Andrew Frost Hall.
Yeah, I know that a lot of other GMs wanted this guy, but he went early here, and the Brawlers have 2 great picks in the top 5.
Yeah, what a great way for them to start. Don't forget, Doug Baxter made the trades to get up from 32 to 3 to 1, and then made a separate trade to get into number 5 overall. So just really tenacious trading. But I gotta say, it looks like, at least with those first 2 picks, that it worked out for
pick
them.
in the 2026 draft, the Memphis Marauders select Douglas Carter. Defensive end.
Douglas Carter. I think if people were expecting line for the Marauders, they were maybe expecting offense, but they go with Carter here out of Georgia.
Yeah, Carter, again, he's another multiple-year player, I believe, and he's just everything about him, man. He's a great edge rusher. He was part of that McNamara team with Georgia and just everything that has came out of Georgia. He played with Levi back at safety. He's just everything you need except for that elite speed. And he needs to get a little smarter on the awareness area, but he's a solid, just put his hand in the dirt and go after the quarterback defensive end.
And that's a team in transition right there. But now we've got Vince Dooley on the clock. Going with Shadiq Moore, the cornerback.
Shadiq Moore, he is arguably the #1 corner in the draft this season. And I know
say over Lockheed?
I know Dooley. He had some needs at corner, and he was flip flopping between Moore and Nasir Lockheed, and he just obviously decided to go with the 2 years of tape with Shadiq Moore. And Shadiq Moore is a multiple-year award winner, and he's just a great guy. He's going to do 6'5", 210.
Yeah. You got a 6'5" corner that makes up for a lot of mistakes. And
with the 8th pick in the 2026 draft,
speed, but he's got speed.
Vancouver Mammoth select Nasir Lockheed.
Oh, back to back.
Carolina.
And that just proves it right there, man. Moore and Lockheed were the 1A and 1B of the corners in this draft, as we're getting to see. By the way, back sounds great calling out all these picks. And we get to see all of these new jerseys from the mod and from...
With the 9th
need in a corner, he's going to still... He set the record for interceptions the next pick's name.
Raymond Carter, offensive line, Iowa.
There's maybe some of the offensive line that you thought maybe would go earlier, but Raymond Carter, a 2-year player out of the University of Iowa, 6'3", 319. He's played every spot on the line except center, and he could. He has an elite awareness ability, and he is going to pave the way for this run game in the surf.
Yeah, I mean, you've got a running back like Jeremiah Porter. You've got to give him more lanes. You think they move Carter inside?
With the 10th pick in the 2026 draft, the Houston Hoplites.
We'll go with Houston.
Select Keon Hunter.
Oh, and there he goes. Michigan. Another Michigan man in the top 10. That's 3 in the top 10, and it's the Heisman winner. Tell us about Keon Hunter.
Yeah, man, Keon Hunter is the yin to the yang of Burt Bean, and I mean, just everything you need. And the thing that had him behind Neo Judkins at the #1 running back was that elite speed. He just doesn't quite have the elite speed, but he has everything else. One of the only 2,000-yard rushers this season, and he's gonna be a steal there with Bartvick III in Houston.
Yeah, imagine that backfield now. I mean, I imagine they're both day one starters. The real problem is who's gonna wear the #1 jersey.
Yeah, I mean, that's I'm blown my mind. I mean, they didn't need a halfback, but they did, and it's kind of one of those things where you just can't leave the guy sitting on the shelf.
Absolutely. That's a fair way to put it. As a matter of fact, you know, when you talk about not only who's been drafted so far, that also brings the question of who's available. Tell us a little bit about who's available still.
I mean, right there you see
the 11th pick,
1 second, as the
2026
New Orleans
draft,
Mojo.
The NOLA Mojo select Matt Sanders.
Oh, Matt
defensive end,
Sanders came out early.
Yeah, Matt Sanders is one of those late additions. He was a junior. He decided to come out in the draft this year, and he was on everybody's draft board immediately. And, I mean, you see there's 6'7". He's got speed. Even though it says right there he's not a speed rusher, but he's got some, I shouldn't say speed, he's got some acceleration. And he just gets in the backfield and pops those guys.
Now, is this surprising to you that Sanders goes before Latham?
I mean, again, it's all about the GMs and all about the scouting that's been done. Something that the Mojo saw they didn't like, I don't know. But Sanders is a solid pick.
I I mean, he blocks out the sun, it
With
says.
the 12th pick of the 2026
here we go at
draft,
12.
the Arizona Sandstorm select Tim McFarland.
Ooh,
tackle,
that's a very
Texas
good
A&M.
Yeah, just like the Georgia Wildcats had a mini run on corners, now we're having a run on the offensive line. And McFarland, again, is a 2-year left tackle. He was quarterback there when McNamara won. No, never mind. I take that back. He's been with Nikhil Banks 2 years in a row.
But I mean, he's a guy you just plug and play. He could be left or right tackle, but he is a tackle for sure. But he's a mauler in both the pass and the run. You can just set him back there and forget him for a decade.
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna be here for a long.
So looking at who's still your best bets available, what do you think about the talent still on the board? 2 Florida State guys right at the top.
I mean, Neo and Mason
With the
gotta
13th
be the
pick
top
of
2
the
halfbacks in the
2026
draft that are
draft,
left.
the Pittsburgh
See,
Prowlers
Prowlers are
select
back up on the clock.
Forrest Hawkinson.
There's another
linebacker,
Florida State player. Wow, Michigan and Florida State repping strong here in the top of round 1.
Forrest Hawkinson, another one of those 1-year players, one and done, high motor, high effort. He is just watching him in pass coverage makes him get drafted enough. He doesn't have that speed that gets him in the backfield on blitzes, but he is a ball player.
Absolutely, and we saw that. I mean, he really, as much credit goes to the heavy lunch bunch and Jacob Evans out on the edge for that defense. He was right in the middle of a national championship winning defense, really taking the reins and calling the plays, and he's going to fit in nicely next to Teron Sasser, the free agent signing by the Prowlers. Pittsburgh's going to look a lot different on defense this year, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's something that a lot of guys need to do is they need to take advantage of the League HQ and go look at the rosters.
With the 14th pick
How
of
these
the
players are fitting. These
2026
GMs are
draft,
doing
the
a
Columbus
great job of
Crusaders
drafting.
select Ian Orji,
Yes,
receiver.
Ian Orji, man. Talk about this guy, you have to talk about speed. He is fast.
He's fast. He's got dependable, consistent routes. He will go get the ball in traffic. He does have great yard after catch. But ironic, is it weird to say he has no elite traits? Is that a real weakness?
I mean, the kid, he wasn't over 1,000 yards receiving, but he was in everyone's conversation for the top receiver. And he's only 5'11". He might be that 2-3 spot in the lineup for a receiver who runs some slots, runs some picks. But he is a great wide receiver, and he's gonna do some good as the camp crusher in.
Absolutely. So who do you think? Who's
With
is
the
Judkins?
15th pick
Going here
of the
to Canton?
2026 draft, the Canton Crush select Kai Latham, defensive line, Florida
No,
State.
it's
Kai
another
Latham.
one. Instead, it's a different Seminole. I was wrong.
As the Crush, with their new blue unis, pick up Kai Latham. Congratulations. I know he's here. I know he's going to be watching. And he ended up, after the postseason included, he is our new sack leader.
That's right. Including the postseason, he was the sack leader for the college season, and he had such a dominant year. And that heavy lunch bunch, certainly going to be interesting to see them split up.
Yeah, I mean, can they survive alone? Who knows? I mean, a lot of times, that's honestly one of my only weaknesses against them. Early in the season, when one would tire out and they would swap in and out, they were having trouble getting through there. So, I mean, we'll see what happens as the strangers are in.
With
Austin
the
could go a
16th
lot of
pick
directions
of
here.
the
We just know it's not a
2026
quarterback.
draft, the Austin
absolutely.
Strangers select Josh Cook, defensive line,
Okay, that's
Oklahoma.
a solid pick right there. Very much under the radar. A guy who got 14 sacks, but nobody was talking about it. Why?
I mean, he's not flashy. Oklahoma didn't get as much of the play time, a lot of strength, a lot of talk on defense like they had in the past. And Josh Cook is a 2-year player. He has 2 years of tape, and he won a lot of awards. He's a great player, but just a lot of the GMs didn't have him as the rail stormer up.
What do you think Omaha would be looking for here at this point? 17 overall, kind of middling performance last season. What could Omaha benefit from here?
With the 17th pick,
they traded back, so we'll see.
2026 draft, the Omaha Railstorm select Isaiah Brigham, linebacker, UAB.
Okay.
There you go. Isaiah Brigham, he is one of the top linebackers, the outside linebackers. He's a great guy. Like I said, here, lacks sideline to sideline speed, but he does cover that middle of the field great.
He sure does. If you feel confident about the edges, then yeah, between the hashes, Isaiah Brigham is a tackling machine for sure. And surprisingly, for playing that Mike backer spot a lot, he has some good tools when it comes to rushing the passer.
Yeah, absolutely. He's one of the top outside linebackers, and I'm not shocked to see him go in the first round here.
Now, Anchorage is on the clock. They certainly could also use a little bit of linebacker help as they're making a little bit of a defensive transition. They said they're going to play more of the 3-4 this season, so could they be looking at linebacker?
With the
They also
18th
need
pick
help on
of the
line.
2026 draft, the Anchorage Ice Pack select Billy Ray Bannon.
Billy Ray Bannon!
There we go. Talk about the perfect guy to line up in the middle of that 3-4 defense. Tell us about Billy Ray Bannon.
Billy Ray Bannon is the epitome of a middle linebacker, man. He is a tackling machine. It doesn't matter if you're on his team or not. If you're in front of him, you're getting hit. And he is going to be a force to reckon with in Anchorage. Hope you like the cold, man.
Absolutely, and they have got some fantastic full moon helmets. So that is quite the look to see Billy Ray Bannon's flowing locks cascading out of those full moon helmets.
Yeah, man, their new uniforms are amazing looking, and congrats, Billy Ray.
Absolutely. Very deserving. I'm sure he will be very
With the
vocal up there.
19th pick of the 2026 draft, the London Lions select Lakobe Evans.
Oh,
cornerback,
and more Florida State. Unbelievable. Here we go.
Yeah, look, Kobe Evans here, man. The Lions going across the pond. Arguably the number one corner again. There were 3 corners in this draft.
I was going to say,
bang,
you could
bang,
make
bang.
a case for him. You could make a case for Lockheed. You could make a case for Shadiq Moore, all right up in that rare air cornerback class. I can't believe he fell all the way to 19. I figured he was a top 15 pick for sure.
Now, I think it has to do with his, like I said right here, relies too much on raw skills. He is an athlete. Not a lot of times. He was great on the deflections,
With the
but a lot of
20th
times
pick
it
of
was
the
just because his
2026
skills
draft,
had him where he needed to
Virginia
be.
Beach Bombers select Dominic Gooden, wide receiver, UCLA.
Whoa, talk about adding dynamite next to TNT. Dominic Gooden, the tall, speedy receiver out of Cal, is now going to line up opposite of Earl Rose.
Wow, man. Gooden going to Virginia. That's gonna be a nightmare, whoever has to cover him, especially the guys that gotta cover him twice a year.
Yeah, I was just going to say the Brawlers, I'm sure, the Sharks, the Blizzard, all watching this pick very carefully because they already have their hands full. This is certainly going to thin out the secondaries against a Bombers team that has Stanley Jenkins at quarterback who loves to run the ball.
With the 21st pick
Coming up here, we have the
2026
Wildcats with their
draft,
second pick.
the
Yeah,
Georgia
let's go really
Wildcats
good.
select Christian Bacigalupi, safety, Maryland.
Christian Bacigalupi. Congratulations, man. That's another guy. I know he's out there in the chat. One of the best free safeties out there. Maryland. As you see here, elite football IQ, great acceleration, great awareness. He is a great a great safety, and he hits like a linebacker. He's gonna have to work on his strength. He's gonna have to work on his speed sometimes through the upgrades and such. But he is a great addition to the newly relocated Georgia Wildcats.
I mean, interesting because you could argue they don't even really need a safety, but when there's talent that good that has fallen to 21, kind of just, is that a dually best pick available sort of pick there, or do you think he could have gone elsewhere?
I mean, they don't need anything else there.
With the 22nd
they needed
pick
linebackers
of the
in the secondary. They
2026
needed
draft,
defense, and they
the
needed
Kansas
fast
City
receivers.
Mob
And
select
Orgy's gone.
B.J. Burrow, cornerback, LSU.
Yeah, that makes sense. Kansas City, certainly a team showing a lot of age last season. Certainly makes sense that a complete all-around do-it cornerback like B.J. Burrow, really the only thing he's lacking is that top-end speed.
Yeah, a lot of the defensive position this year, they're not blessed with the blazing speed to keep with the receivers, but we'll see here if Burrow can get a start for the Kansas City Mob, and at least he'll look good in a new
With the
uniform.
23rd pick of the 2026 draft, the Chicago Football Department select Juan Frank, defensive line.
Okay, Juan
Iowa.
Frank, certainly someone that was perhaps a little bit off my radar, Oscar. What can you tell us about this Iowa defensive end?
Yeah, I think this is one that even I didn't see coming. His toolbox is empty. He definitely needs a great coach. He's going to go to Chicago. They're going to, he's probably not going to start, but who knows? I honestly don't know their depth right there right now.
Chicago not exactly strong anywhere on defense. They really were carried by the offense last season with Buck McCarthy. I'm going to check on League HQ right now. GM head coach Lynn Wagner certainly making that pick. And right now it looks like, there's certainly not a ton of talent on the defensive line.
With the 24th pick of the 2026 draft,
you could argue they
the
need
Vancouver Mammoths select Bill Armstrong.
Oh,
tight end,
and there's your
Georgia
guy.
Southern.
Right there, Bill Armstrong.
Absolutely. This is the steal of the draft. Georgia Southern tight end Bill Armstrong. He has the record. If you look in the record book in the Discord, he has like the first or second my stats for the receiving touchdowns, I believe, and receiving yards. He is a beast. And Shelton Atkins, who transferred to Georgia, was his quarterback the year that they broke all the records.
That's right. Bill Armstrong certainly was getting a lot of hype pre-draft. And, you got to wonder, could he have gone earlier potentially? Just how high do you take a tight end?
He's going to be the best tight end in the league this year.
So with who's left,
with their new uniforms, oh man, they look good.
With who's left and who's available, who are some of the best bets out there right now, Oscar?
Again, Neal and Mason, I'm surprised they're still here. Corbin Hyde's a great safety. Derek Sims, Andrew Smith, all these guys, these are some best bets for teams to get.
Yeah, don't
Axel
forget
Hill
about
Cox flew under a lot of radars.
I was going to say, you got the Heisman finalists in Judkins and Bigsby, but certainly, wonder what Salt Lake is thinking about here.
With the 25th
struggling to make
pick
this
of the
pick.
2026 draft, the Salt Lake Sting select Oliver Dennis, wideout.
Okay, not your
There
best
you go, they
available,
went
but-
receiver. What a player, man.
Yeah, he was up there, and he had a great season with Reno Hightower, who's returning to Texas.
Yeah, absolutely. Reno Hightower right now is the #1 quarterback on the board for next season. And one of his weapons left him. He's going to have a return. But Oliver Dennis played at Southern Miss. Then he transferred to Texas. And he had 2 great years, 2 years in a row.
Yeah, now he certainly doesn't have that top shelf speed. You can think last year of another tall, lean 6'6" receiver that went to Buffalo at the top of round 2 with Cam Reed. The only real difference is Cam Reed has that extra gear that maybe Oliver Dennis lacks. What do you do with a tall, thin, not quite top-end speed receiver?
You do what it says right there with the basketball background. This guy's going to have a gaggle of touchdowns on jump balls as the Rhinos are up.
Yeah, you wonder the Rhinos, and see, this is where your best bets board is really about fit,
The
right?
26th
Because the
pick
Rhinos
of the
could use a lot of help,
2026
but
draft,
hard to
the
know
St. Louis
exactly. But I
Rhinos
would guess
select
they're probably going with
Derek Sims,
offensive line.
guard,
That's where they need it the
Nebraska.
most.
Absolutely. Derek Sims is one of the great guards in the draft. He could play safe or center. He's got great stamina. He's a great player. He play exactly. I was about to say he plays bigger than his size. He is amazing, and congrats as Oliver Dennis's teammate Pat Pierce at Southern Miss went to this team, and he's going to have extra time to catch passes now.
That's right. Fantastic breakout year for him last season. And yeah, the Rhinos just needed some strength on the offensive line. You could argue the Reign are in a similar position, but when you got guys like Judkins and Bigsby and Randy Reyna and Bobby Smith, and, all these guys, you got good offensive linemen still with Andrew Smith
With
out
the
there.
27th pick of the 2026 draft, the LA Reign select Dion Newcomb, guard, Oregon.
Okay, so they leaned into need probably a bit on this pick. Clearly was not in the visible view of your current top 12 of best bets. So what can we find out about Newcomb? He's played at Oregon, so he just played in a national championship.
I mean, the Reign were one of the top 5, I think top 3 maybe offenses this season. They didn't need a
Absolutely, and when you talk about strength, that's certainly something that they could use a little bit more of. In fact, they're looking to strengthen that line. They went center in the first round last year, and they go guard in the first round this year.
With the 28th pick of the 2026 draft, the Philadelphia
just
Furies
paved
select
the way as the
Kyle
Fury
Morris,
era.
wideout, Georgia.
Oh, and there we go, a Georgia receiver. Kyle Morris, another one of those guys that has all the tools but not the speed. Why do you think GMs are prioritizing these guys who not necessarily are known as burners?
I mean, man, it's the 2 years of tape. As Kyle Morris is another 2-year player. He played with Jimmy McNamara. He played a year with Shelton Atkins now. He's got 2 years of solid tape. As Georgia was never flashy on offense, but they were up there. And I'm waiting on their halfback will get drafted sometime down the line, but
Absolutely.
these two receivers, Kyle Morris and Chris Johnson, I believe, they're going to be as the Tokyo Rioter up.
I think it is Chris Johnson. And, Tokyo Riot, unfortunately, had to lose
With the
Coach
29th
Fry,
pick
but he's still a
of the
fan. He's hoping to
2026
go
draft,
receiver here. Let's see
the
what they
Tokyo
do.
Riot select Devontae Mama, corner.
Devontae Mama, another Notre Dame cornerback. Another cornerback from Notre Dame.
Yeah,
And he's in the top 3 stats almost every season for interception.
He is incredible talent, incredible football IQ. Before his ACL injuries that slowed him down, he was an Olympic-level high jumper, great as press and jam, but maybe could have a longer shelf life, you think, as a safety?
Yeah, absolutely. He's kind of short, but he's got a great, strong safety move. I mean, I can see him playing safety, but he's going to be a great physical corner. He's a physical corner.
Yeah, he's not going to be chasing down teams' burners, but if you're playing anywhere kind of over the middle, he's going to be in there.
Yeah, I mean, Mama,
With the
again,
30th pick
he was a
of the
great corner. He was in the
2026
top
draft,
3 of stats every
the
time, and
Oklahoma
the
City
natives
Natives
are up.
select Gage Shelby, offensive line, Penn
And
State.
to maybe no one's surprise, Clint Baker goes with the offensive line late in the first round.
Yeah, Clint Baker is notorious. As you see the new threads there for the natives, wow. But Clint Baker is notorious for going need over want, and they need offensive line. And he's going to shore up the defense and the coverage for his quarterback, Russell Watson, and they're going to have a
Rookie
wall
of the
for
year,
that
Russell Watson.
What was that, Skip? Sorry.
I said rookie of the year quarterback.
Oh, absolutely. So just imagine once he gets a wall built in front of him. I mean, he was the other kid from Southern Miss. Southern Miss, providing a lot of great players in these
With the
drafts.
31st pick of the
Okay, we've got
2026
a
draft,
run of user
the
GMs
Albuquerque
here.
Dukes select
Walt Shelby picking.
Andrew Smith, center, Texas A&M.
Oh, he's going with the center. Almost everyone knew that one was coming. If Andrew Smith fell to this spot, he was going to get picked. Albuquerque had no center until right now.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And Andrew Smith is the center in the draft, and he's just a great player, man. powerful anchor. He doesn't collapse with the blitz. It would have been interesting to see them play a little bit tougher offense, defenses. But he was a great player and great plug and play. He's going to play every position, and congrats to the Dukes. They are up and in. And this was a safe pick as they have 2 picks back to back.
Absolutely.
With the
Let's see
32nd
what they
pick
do with
of
it.
the
The last pick of the first
2026
round.
draft, the Albuquerque Dukes select the 1, Neo Judkins.
Neo!
The 1, there it is, Neo Judkins. Finally, he is a first-round running back. Oscar, tell us about Neo Judkins.
All right, man. Neo Judkins is the #1 halfback in the draft, and I'm so glad that he went to Albuquerque. Him and Smokey, man, they may not get along in the Discord, but they're going to be 2 great weapons for the Dukes.
Yeah,
As
fast
you see on the
friends, I
replay,
think.
the highlights here, man, he has the speed, the moves, the strength. He is the one.
And was considered the Heisman frontrunner neck and neck for most of the season. We got the Brawlers on the clock, I think, now. Sounds like the pick is in for Buffalo. Where do you think Buffalo goes now with all this talent sitting here? They deliberately traded into this spot.
I don't know what Buffalo's doing anymore, man. They are just the rich keep getting richer.
And that is officially the end of round 1. And round 2, the pick is in. Let's see where Buffalo goes. Oh, they go with Mason Bigsby, your best available bet.
I mean, to me, Mason Bigsby may be the steal of the draft at the halfback position. Yes, Neo's the one. Yes, Hunter won the Heisman, but Mason Bigsby has 2 years of tape, and you'll hear me say it all night long. He has 2 years of tape. He was blowing guys out, only 1,700 yards, but a lot of those came in the division games down the line. He's going to be great for Buffalo.
And the Nightmare Go linebacker here. They also have back-to-back picks here at the top of round 2. What exactly do we think we're going to be seeing from the Nightmare with this next pick?
Nikhil Banks.
And there he goes, a Nightmare indeed. Interesting pick here with Pat McCoy already at quarterback for New York. What do you make of that?
Yeah, he is definitely, Banks will be, he won't start this season, most likely, but he will be a starter in 2 or 3 years in New York, and he is going to be a steal for the Nightmare.
Absolutely, and he's certainly going to push him. There's probably an opportunity. He gets a chance to play. What does the San Antonio Law do here with new head coach Ben Brew? The defensive-minded coach goes quarterback at the top of round 2.
Yeah, and Breedlove, at the start of the season, he was the unanimous #1 quarterback, and he had it to lose, and he did. He still had a great year. We just didn't see him put up the numbers he did from his first year, but he did have 2 years of tape, and yeah, I see your comment. 2 years, blah, blah, blah. It matters. I don't care what you say, and the GMs are proving it, and congratulations, Breedlove.
Now, I'm going to stay on Breedlove, even though the Sharks just picked safety Angel Dove right there. I'm going to stay on the Breedlove conversation because, as a matter of fact, that was the Law's first pick. They had traded, if you remember, their first pick out of the first round. So does that make the pick potentially that much more important? Because the
I
Law's
think it does,
first
and
pick was a quarterback.
I think that Breedlove will get significant playing time this season. He
Over
could
Neil
be.
Bolden. You think he supplants Bolden this season?
We'll see what happens in the preseason. They don't have a user GM, but who knows, man? Have you seen Mulder go to the Memphis Marauders and Greer go to the Railstorm?
Yeah, they're moving a little faster now, those picks.
Yeah, definitely teams going needs this season, just like last season. I love it. We love to see it. It doesn't make a lot of the guys happy because they want to see their guys go early. But no one needed running backs this season until they did.
Oh, and it's Mike Jones. going to the Canton Crush. They're going defense again.
Yeah, and Mike Jones is a monster. The guy's like 7'20", 20, 30 feet tall, playing defensive end or else. He's an edge rusher. He's going to be, a lot of guys wanted him. A lot of guys hate him. Congrats, Mike Jones.
Yeah, certainly was on the top of a lot of GM's boards. And now the Surf are up, and they are going with halfback Stephen Smith.
And there's the halfback from Georgia that we were talking about earlier. Stephen Smith is the solid, safe bet halfback. He's not flashy. He's not too big of a bruiser, but he will get you the first down. And he started for 2 seasons for Georgia. He's going to be a great back for the Surf.
And it looks like just like that, the Buffalo Brawlers get another one of your best available picks. And it's tight end Bobby Smith out of NC State.
And Bobby Smith, when you saw his pro day and his combine, he lit up the running, everything that had to do with running, man. And almost, you see there, almost 1,000-yard receptions, only 4 TDs, but the NC State Wolfpack had a down year this year as Smokey Smith got drafted.
Bobby Smith, I mean, certainly was dealing with a little bit of injuries before his combine and pro days, so maybe his speeds weren't as fast as he would have liked, but we know that guy can play and he can block. And just like this guy can block, David Engel out of Oklahoma, who certainly needed on the offensive line for the Blizzard here. They could use all the help they can get.
Yeah, and I mean, shout out to the Blizzard with their new uniforms, man. They look amazing also. But, yeah, I mean, a lot of needs again. We're going to see a lot of offensive linemen going this round, probably a lot of defensive linemen, but Sandstorm's up getting a safety.
Yeah, and you got to think that makes sense. George Madden, probably one of the last starting caliber safeties. Not even sure if you would pencil him in as a day one safety, but he is excellent in coverage.
Yeah, absolutely. He's one of those great cover guys. He might play corner at some point, but see the Duke's up on the clock again.
That's right. Got to wonder where they're going to go here. They've had quite the strong start to their draft. If you want to take a look at who's been drafted so far for the Dukes, it's Andrew Smith and then Neo Judkins. And now they're going with Marquez Van Ett at defensive end, kind of a hybrid linebacker out of Pittsburgh. Quite a talented player as well.
Yeah, Pittsburgh, they were a great season from great team from last season. Good defense. A lot of players going there from in the last draft came from Pittsburgh, and they're a quiet, under the radar team who could produce some good talent for the draft.
Absolutely. And when you talk about talent in the draft, maybe no team could use it more than the Crusaders, who are finally taking Corbin Hyde off the board right there. They certainly needed that.
One of my best bets, Corbin Hyde is the number 2 safety in this draft, and he will do some damage in Columbus.
And that's a pretty good start for the Crusaders. You got to consider they got Ian Orgy at wide receiver to start, and then they were able to get Corbin Hyde just there at safety. Let's see where the Canton Crush go. Another safety right here with Ryan Means. Tell us about Ryan Means out of Notre Dame.
Yeah, Ryan Means out of Notre Dame. Notre Dame had a deep push into the playoffs this season. Their defense was a lot of the reason why. And Ryan Means in this secondary, they couldn't hang in the postseason, but they were shutting down offenses all year long.
Absolutely. And now we're going to see the Austin Strangers going at cornerback with Dante Ingram. Josh Cook and Dante Ingram, they're starting with defense.
Now, a lot of the teams, man, you've seen a lot of teams that are going defense are going all in on defense. Likewise with offense, and Austin sticks with another pick here on defense as they get Ingram. He's going to be a good player.
Absolutely. And now let's see what the Peaks do after trading for Justin Herrera, and they go with a very talented running back, Brendan Yaboa, who is still up pretty high on your best bets board.
Yeah, Yaboa, he was a junior that came out early from Indiana. good running back. He was up on the board a lot, high up on the stats. He's going to be a good pick,
and
good
he is an
breather, good third down back for Sacramento.
Excellent receiver out of the backfield, and having a release valve may be perfect for Justin Herrera. And finally, Alex Gibbs comes off the board out of Ohio State. I'm stunned he didn't go in the first round.
Yeah, I'm shocked he's lasted this long, just like Randy Reina from Ohio State, Broderick James, J.J. Small, the running back from Notre Dame. I mean, there's a lot of good talent here.
Speaking of talent, tell us about Axel Hillcox. There's been a lot of talk about him suddenly in the lead up to this draft process.
As London comes up here, Axel Hillcox, man, he had a great pro day, a great combine score. A few GMs have sent messages. I know Commissioner Back was talking to me, and he said a lot of guys, a lot of buzz for this guy. And I told him he was on my short list of quarterbacks for the draft, and he's going to make someone a very good under-the-radar quarterback.
Yeah, I wonder if it goes to a team where he's got a chance to sit and learn, or if he's got to play right away. Oh, and wow, the Bombers are going to double down on offense, going with maybe one of the last best offensive tackles that could play right away if needed, George Stephen out of Texas.
And it just proves our point. Teams that are going offense are going all in on offense, and likewise, man, and they are picking up a great one here as George Stephen is going to help Stanley Jenkins light up the scoreboard again this season.
Another user GM on the clock here for the Hoplites, and they go with Randy Reina out of Ohio State.
There we go. We're just talking about Reina. He is a great pickup for the Hoplites.
They traded around receivers with the rain, but they still needed more talent in the room.
And after going for Lamart Vick III, they got to get him some weapons now, or else he can't have any excuses. But he's going to have a good stable of receivers to keep this offense going.
Absolutely. And now we look, Adonis Cook, another receiver coming off the board. This one out of Washington State. Explain to me Adonis Cook, because Adonis Cook has incredible talent, but what he lacks is speed. He's almost the ideal slot receiver, except his speed.
Yeah, he's a slot receiver that runs like a tight end. I don't understand what's going on here. And if he has the speed or has the size, which he doesn't really, he could be a tight end, but who knows what's going to happen with him.
At 5'8", he's probably not playing tight end.
I'm trying to give the guy some props as Teddy Bedell goes.
Is there any chance maybe a team like the Mob looks at Adonis Cook and says, you know what, we've got a guy right here who could be shifted over to like a receiving back?
Oh, absolutely. Just like I believe the Crush did that last year.
And speaking of running backs, J.J. Small out of Notre Dame, who is still pretty high on your best available best bets board.
Yeah, as Gadosh, J.J. Small, a lot of good halfbacks still left in this draft. And Alex Roy, I want to highlight him. He is a great corner. Played for Liberty. Give him a shout out real quick. Played well above his ability, well above his team. He drove his team to play like they did. As the Sting get an offensive line there.
Yep, Sting going with Malachi Cutting out of Iowa. You could argue that might be the end of the premium tackle talent.
I just want to real quick on the Oscars best bets down there. Graham Montgomery. Not a lot of guys know him. He's a junior, came out early. He is going to be whoever gets him is going to be a great, they're going to be happy. He's going to produce for them. But the Rhinos are up again.
Nice. Connor Truman out of USF, certainly a sneaky good linebacker that I think a lot of GMs who did their homework probably had on their board. So what else of these players on your best bets board do you want to tell us about, and who do you hope could be coming off the board sometime soon here?
I mean, we've got some great players here. We've got Ronnie Taylor, great wide receiver out of Texas A&M. Atha Fogg from Michigan is a great guy. We already talked about Axel Hillcox.
Rain doubling down on offensive line.
Yeah, great pick there for the Hoplites. Duke Hoge from NC State. Very Stephen Smith style running back.
I was just going to say a Stephen Smith light.
Yeah, absolutely. He just bruises. He's going to get 3 to 4 yards every carry.
And the hoplites go with Alpha Fogg, who you just discussed. Tell us about Alpha Fogg, maybe an unheralded Michigan player because there were so many other talented guys on the line.
Yeah, I mean, great edge rusher, Alpha Fogg. He was up in the stats. He didn't, like you said, he was overshadowed by a lot of the guys on the team that did get the spotlight. But Fogg is a great pick as the rider up now also as we're moving along.
That's right. And they go with the center, maybe the only other center that's worthy of starting, kind of an athletic pivot guy, Justin Gray out of Ohio State.
And after last season, Gray was up high on a lot of draft boards for offensive line and then just didn't produce the numbers this year. Ohio State just didn't have the season they did the year before. They had a new quarterback in Ramon Grant III, who is returning, but Gray, congratulations. I'm glad he got drafted.
Another Notre Dame linebacker here going Jalen Vildor, going to Baker and the Natives.
As the Natives, again, Baker is notorious for going for need, and they needed a linebacker.
They sure did. Is that a strength or a weakness for Baker there if everyone knows he's going after those needs?
At this point, who knows? Because they did so well last year as the Wildcats are up with Dooley. Congrats and welcome, Romeo Ybarra.
Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo? It's Romeo Ybarra. He has got size, speed, and route running. Tell us about Ybarra.
Yeah, Romeo Ybarra is one of those guys. He has everything you need, but he just didn't have a flashy season. Almost 1,200 yards receiving, 7 TDs. Toby Fortune was his quarterback, a 2-year quarterback that's coming back for a 3rd season next year, and most likely the rumor is he's going to transfer. But Ybarra did have the intangibles and the skills, and he's going to light it up for Dooley out there with the Wildcats.
Yeah, interesting. And with the Tucker Moore experiment, looks like it's in full swing. They did not go quarterback here with a couple picks in the first 2 rounds. So you got to imagine they seem as comfortable as Dooley said.
Yeah, and there's the Duke's pick here.
Yeah, they go with a disruptor on the D-line, TJ Zumwalt. Walt Shelby loves defense. He loves defensive line. That's what helped carry them to a Rivals Cup last year in our inaugural season. Certainly makes sense to get a disruptor like TJ Zumwalt.
Yeah, and just to go back on the Wildcats there, Skip, what's your thoughts on the Tucker experiment as the Brawlers pick here?
Let's see what Buffalo does. Maybe. We're waiting here to see. I guess maybe we were having a chance to talk about the end of round 2 is probably what the team in the graphics truck were saying. But who do you think might go here to, I believe it's Buffalo, on the clock at pick 65.
Yeah, the Brawlers have the 65 pick.
There you go. That sound signifies a change. Here we go.
Just had such a...
And they're going to take a pick right here. Who do you think they go with?
Offensive line, maybe?
And it is Ronnie Taylor.
Ronnie Taylor. Congratulations, man.
You just mentioned Ronnie Taylor. You could call him a possession receiver because he catches everything. He will go get the ball in traffic. Certainly a talented receiver for Nikhil Banks there at Texas A&M.
Yeah, I know he was, he was waffling, flip-flopping on whether or not he wanted to come out in the draft or not, and I'm glad he did. He's one of those players that could have benefited from a second year or another year, and, he's going to do good. I don't see him being a year 1 starter for Buffalo unless it's, in a key substitution style position, but congratulations,
know.
Ronnie Taylor. He's a great talent.
Yeah, you never know, because they did trade away Terrence Andrews as Leon Gent goes here from Oregon. But yeah, the Brawlers traded away Terrence Andrews, so that kind of bumps everybody in the receiver room up a slot. You could argue Taylor could have a chance to be that, not a slot receiver, but that wide receiver 3, maybe from day one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He'll get playing time. I don't see him being like a year 1 starter, like a 1 or 2, but he'll get some playing time. Congratulations.
Absolutely. Congrats to Ronnie Taylor. Congrats to the Brawlers having a great draft, and they're about to pick again in just a second. But here's the grunge. They're going with David Ezekiel. Got to protect the offensive line there.
And it's going to be interesting in that Buffalo locker room with Ronnie and Bobby together. We'll see how they get along. That'll be, we can write stories about that one. And Ezekiel, the grunge, is this the grunge's first pick?
I believe this is the grunge's first pick. They had to give up a lot to get Andrew Frost, and you can see right now the Brawlers have had 5 picks so far. They're about to make another one. Let's see who they go with. Oh, and it's your boy. You just mentioned him a moment ago. 2 guys you just called out. Alex Roy, the cornerback out of Liberty.
Yeah, and Alex Roy, the only knock against him is that size. I mean, he is the prototypical 5'8", 185, but he's a little undersized at corner. A lot of these pro wide receivers and tight ends might just kind of flame around. So he's got some work to do on his upgrades for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. If we just take a look at the Brawlers draft so far, it started with Burt Bean, Chucky Knox, Mason Bigsby, Bobby Smith, Ronnie Taylor, Alex Roy. They got a lot out of Andrew Frost right there. As the San Antonio Law get a lot out of Ohio State, it's Connor Biggers.
Yeah, Biggers, he's one of the great offensive linemen. The Law are quietly amassing a great draft here, as it does seem like they're kind of, in the background, kind of moving towards Breedlove.
Yeah, absolutely. So they're clearly making a statement here. They may be ready to move on from Neil Bolden if they're going and getting Connor Biggers at blindside tackle and Chad Breedlove before that.
Absolutely.
Oh, more offensive line. Eric Sasser, another guy out of Ohio State that came out surprisingly to some and instantly moved up GM's draft boards.
Yeah, Sasser was he was a shock. I didn't expect him to come in. Didn't have him on the board early because he was slotted to come back for another year. But congratulations, the Marauders get a great pickup here. There's no rail storm around the clock again. And the grunge, I'm glad to see the grunge on the board after getting everything to get caught.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's see what they do here. Oh, that's a great pick out of Notre Dame. Talk about run stuffer. Gabe Woods, big Gabe Woods.
Now, Gabe Woods is a great pick there. He's gonna, like you said, he's one of the great true run defenders in the draft, and he is gonna just shut down every Holy game.
Yeah, let's take a look at Gabe Woods on the visualizer here. He's pretty solid all around, but you can see he is strong as an ox, and the boy knows how to tackle. 346 pounds. And another offensive lineman, man, the run on lineman here is on. James Virgin out of Oregon State going to the grunge, getting a little protection for Andrew Frost.
I was just about to say, you give everything for Frost, you gotta protect the guy, and they go 2 offensive linemen back to back.
Absolutely incredible here.
The Surfer up.
And the Surf, I mean, they need a lot of help on defense, so you got to wonder if they're going to make a play here. And it's Mitch Harvey, the linebacker out of Miami, so he's trading South Beach for Honolulu Beach, but either way, he's going to be an important piece as the Surf try to start figuring out what they do in the post-Dennis Huggins era. What's their identity going to be, as Huggins is likely in his final season in the pros?
Yeah, you definitely got to think that the Surfer is starting to look into next year's draft with Reno Hightower, Toby Fortune, Ramon Grant, that there are a lot of quarterbacks are there next year, so you got to think the Surfer bolstering that defense as there's my steal, Grant Montgomery.
Grant Montgomery. There was a couple of those Cincinnati guys that I feel like were just under the radar, but Grant Montgomery, you think maybe because he's a little bit slower, he may get shifted to safety, or you think they keep him at corner?
I think he can play both. He would be a great substitution type of guy. I don't see him starting either side, but great substitution guy.
And the Blizzard going with Sidney Garbett at tight end. Certainly a spot that they could use an inflection of youth at, but they've got a good one already, so I guess this is just strength on strength for the Blizzard here. Maybe just a value pick. So they've got another pick in just a few.
The Bears cap. Sorry, go ahead, Skip.
Well, I was just going to say they've got a few. You know, they've got to pick again in a few. So maybe this was just taking the best player available at the time. And we've got the Sandstorm back on the clock here. See what they do with it. Arizona. Gone offense and defense, and they go offense again. Another offensive lineman, Javier Marciano out of USC. Certainly a balanced tackle, you could say.
Yeah, absolutely. He's not shocking on either side, leaning pass or run, but he is he's a solid pickup here. He can be molded into what they need based on what they do and where they go in the future. And great pickup as the Prowlers are on the clock.
That's right. The Prowlers are on the clock, and they're also going to go offensive line here, getting John Baxter, the road grader out of Alabama.
And they at this point they could have picked a garbage can with their third pick because their first two were so good.
Yeah,
but
Coach Caesar nailing the first two picks of his draft.
Absolutely. The Prowlers are going to be dangerous now.
Let's see what the Crusaders do here. Crusaders certainly have a chance to. They're going to go with defensive tackle out of Michigan, Josh Kennedy.
Great pickup, another Michigan guy. As you easily see the schools that have had the 2 and 3 year runs here with great talent, and they just get picked apart in these drafts.
They really do.
They've had some great picks so far.
I mean, a lot of teams are having great drafts already. I think you got to certainly look at Buffalo just because of the number of picks they got from the Andrew Frost deal and so early. But here's a guy that I think maybe more people didn't know about, Jeremiah Kuma out of LSU. Certainly a talented linebacker, and he is an edge rusher.
Yeah, just like earlier, LSU didn't get a lot of televised games. They had a junior corner that kind of disappeared, but they had a good season. LSU could be, they're poised to be a threat next season. So we'll see what LSU does next year. But Kuma had a great year for the Tigers. And the Blizzard picked Bryce Reagan. What a pick there.
That's right. And they're stacking up receiving talent right now after getting Sidney Garbett and now Bryce Spragan. And he's a bit more of a possession receiver out of Virginia, but he's got really good hands.
Yeah, he's again, we're in that area with the wide receiver talent that it's going to take some work to get on to a top talent. But Yuri, work on that backfield. They have Nigel Crothers in this offense. They need very little help. So,
yeah, it's funny because if you look, if you go to League HQ and look at Nigel Crothers' stats from last season, you'd think he'd been the MVP. There's just too insane of a performance by Andrew Frost. Otherwise, Crothers would have been a runaway MVP. So interesting to see. Let's see what the Ice Pack do here at pick 82. We got Billy Ray Bannon earlier. And now they're going with David Hamrick out of Ole Miss. Actually a pretty talented offensive lineman. They're going 2 linemen back-to-back, second and third round.
I was about to say they went with the insane defensive pick in the first round, and then they've gone protection the last 2.
I mean, it's a smart way to go.
Getting some protection there.
Yeah, I mean, McLeod certainly would benefit from a little bit more help on the offensive line. So good for him. And now we've got the Lions back up, who went with LaCove Evans. And they're going with another DB, LaMarcus Abbott, kind of a center field safety. What can you tell us about LaMarcus Abbott out of Indiana, a team that kind of surprised everyone down the stretch?
Now, LaMarcus Abbott in Indiana, they made the playoffs, and they came out of nowhere. They shocked everyone. And the secondary was a big reason why, as the Lions have got back-to-back. Two picks in the secondary.
The Bombers here going with, Nick Honeycutt. Can't believe he's still here at 84 out of Florida. Defensive, he is a pure defensive tackle all the way through.
Honeycutt is going to mark it right now. Honeycutt will make stats disappear in about year 3 of his season. He is going to be a beast for the Bombers.
Yeah, he is certainly built to play football, that's for sure. Let's see what the Railstorm do with pick 85. Just some real value here. We may want to go back and revisit your best bets because there's so many good guys here. And Reggie Dalton, the safety out of Oklahoma State, probably one of the last starting caliber safeties left, or not even starting, maybe spot duty safeties left. But he's an enforcer. He'll come downhill and hit you.
Now, I'm talking about the best bets. I can't believe Cole Gadosh is still there. Whoever gets him is going to have a steal of a talent at halfback. He is just one of those guys that lit up the stats this year.
Agreed. Incredible value left. And James Streif, the Ohio State. I feel like Ohio State couldn't possibly have any more left tackles, but I guess he was a swing tackle for them, but he is athletic for sure.
Yeah, when you see the talent that Ohio State had on the offensive line, it's insane that one ranked the third in this offense didn't do better than they did.
Back on the clock is the Natives. Let's see what they do.
I will say real quick that the Ohio State Duke Smoot at halfback, they did have a great run game as he finished in the top 5 for Heisman picks as Marshall goes to the Natives.
Yeah, Chauncey Marshall. So the Natives now taking 2 linebackers here. So you know what they thought was important to them? It was offensive line and then linebacker.
Now, as you see Baker saying they had him queued up for their next pick, I'm assuming they're talking about Honeycutt.
Yeah, that's probably, Honeycutt was a sore thumb standing out where he was. Let's see what the Hoplites do here. It looks like they're going to go with cornerback Rafael Rosas out of Texas.
Another good pick. I was shocked he ended up getting as high as he did off the pro day and the combine.
Tell us,
it's going to be a good. The Hoplites are having a great draft this year. If you want to,
I was just going to say, do you want to tell us about the Hoplites draft? We can maybe ignore the next couple picks. Just tell us about Mac McCarthy's draft so far.
Well, McCarthy, his first season here, him and Dooley, it's their year 1. And, Lamar Vick III, great pick. He's going to be a starter. Hunter, he's going to be a great third down back, possibly a starter in year 1. Who knows? Reyna's going to be all these guys are starters, and he's in the 3rd round.
Absolutely. Talk about maximizing the value. He also was able to get guys like Barrington from the Brawlers.
A lot of teams have a lot of picks. I think the Mammoth had like 13.
Yeah, a ton of picks.
The Wildcats had like 12, 10 after trading up to get that number 7 spot.
Yeah, so Mac McCarthy clearly having a great draft right now. I know we're only halfway through it, just about. But boy, actually maybe exactly halfway through it right now.
I know a handful of teams do not have 3rd round draft picks this season, and you see a lot of repeat picks this round.
Yeah, absolutely. There was a heavy amount of trading, and you think that's probably commonplace. GM's trying to come in, and wow, there's a steal. Broderick James out of Ole Miss in the end of the 3rd round. He could have gone much earlier.
Yeah, and James was on my best bets board. He's one of those receivers out of Ole Miss. He was a great wide receiver. The quarterback from Notre Dame, who is eluding my memory right now, was committed to Ole Miss.
It was Kyler Knight.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah.
They were set up to light up the SEC, but he transferred at the last minute to Notre Dame.
Well, he's certainly going to make the Los Angeles reign that much stronger. They've got superstar George Burrow at quarterback, and the last thing he needs is another receiving weapon. They just traded for James Presley from the Hoplites, so they're really rebuilding that receiver room here in their second season.
And didn't Burrow lead in rushing touchdowns or something?
No, that was Stanley. You can check it on League HQ if you go to the Stats Center. Let's see what the Riot do here. Finally, they get that receiver, and it's Broderick James' running mate for Ole Miss, Jesse Milano. He is a route runner.
Yeah, a lot of times you see these GMs, and once a guy goes from a school, they start looking at that school, and they're like, oh, maybe this guy's pretty good too.
Yeah, it seems to happen a lot. We've got Oklahoma City back on the clock here. See what Clinton Baker does, owner GM. And it's a running back, David Gideon. It's not Gaydosh. He goes Gideon. Out of Ole Miss also. The run on Ole Miss guys. You're right. They go looking at one guy and they see some others they like.
Again, like I said, a GM start looking at a school and they're like, oh, maybe this guy, why wasn't he higher on our radar?
Yeah, you got to wonder, when new coaching staffs, new GMs come into teams, they want to rebuild it in their identity. This next team, the Law, they've been going offense so far. And here we go, and they finally go ahead and make a pick on defense. It's Von Money out of Memphis going to the San Antonio Law. Ben Brew gets his first defensive player. The former defensive coordinator from the Rivals Cup winning Brawlers in year one now gets his cornerback to help him rebuild the Law defense.
A lot of these guys on the best bets, got to start seeing them come off the board possibly here. I'm surprised Tavares Johns is still there.
Yeah, another surprise guy out of Georgia Southern, and Tommy Mayer comes off the board. It seems like the some of the GMs are not exactly agreeing with your best bets here, Oscar.
Hey, that's great for these players because they're going to be steals down the road and get the start.
Well,
Lynn Scarborough is another steal you see down there, a wide receiver for Cincinnati.
Yeah.
He's going to be a great wide receiver.
Now, it seems they want us to talk about each round for a minute here before moving on. So what stands out to you from round 3 and some of these picks? You named a couple of the guys like the great Bandini, right before they got picked. Ronnie Taylor, Alex Roy, guys you were saying were dying to hop off the board. What else do you think of round 3 here?
Yeah, round 3's, again, we mentioned it earlier, it's a bunch of the same team picking here, as a lot of teams didn't pick in round 3. Poised possibly to have a lot of picks later in the round. I know the Wildcats and the Mammoth do, so we'll see what they do.
Well, what's your favorite pick?
Getting that protection for Frost.
Okay, going with Ezekiel there. Sure. Any other picks that you really like a lot is a good match or fit for that team?
The Brawlers, they can't go wrong at this point. The Natives, after last year's draft, the Natives can't go wrong. He is stamped, approved, golden. Everything he does is great. Again, McCarthy's having a great draft with the Houston Hoplites.
Houston might be, for my money right now, having one of the best drafts of the entire night. Let's look again at some of the drafted so far. So we looked at this: Vic, Hunter, Reyna, Fogg, Rosas. We're going to start the 4th round here with Houston on the clock. So very fitting. And they're going linebacker with Paul Fusco out of Oregon, another national championship player. He didn't win it, but he did play in it.
We've seen the Crush coming up here twice. I don't think they picked in round 3, so.
Let's see what Canton Crush does. Oh, there you go. Talk about talent. Spencer Fetinikun out of Florida, changing one orange for another. Canton Crush.
Fetinikun, man. He's one of these guys for Florida. I wish they would have came back another season. Rumor was they had a quarterback lined up, but oh well. Welcome to the Crush, man.
Now offensive line, which Canton has done. They're now in the 4th round, so I guess you can pick anything you want. But Canton has done an incredible job rebuilding that offensive line. Coach Stein has just done a remarkable job putting protection in front of Jimmy McNamara.
Absolutely. And Jimmy McNamara, he had a great rookie season. ready to see what he does in year 2. Because I'm shocked the Sharks have not had a better draft so far.
And they need it.
Definitely a quality over quantity draft.
Yeah, if you talk about guys that are really needing a good draft, a team like the Sharks, they look at all the picks the Brawlers are getting. They look at the guys the Virginia Beach Bombers are getting. They look at the players the Blizzard are getting. And no shot at Angel Dove or Coleman or Byrne, but they're not necessarily the same caliber of guys. And look who just goes here. The Memphis Marauders picking Axel Hillcox, quarterback, the gunslinger out of South Carolina. Tell us about Hillcox.
Axel Hillcox Jr. is my quarterback pickup that I had as my underdog. I spoke to the commissioner about it. I spoke to Baxter about it. Everyone, Wally and Dee, everyone knows that I'm high on Axel Hillcox Jr. And I'm glad to see he went to the Marauders. He's going to do some great things with them.
Yeah, you certainly hope, but he's definitely not going to see the field year 1 unless Ryan Porter gets injured. And there goes Tavares Johns, who you just mentioned, the receiver out of Georgia Southern.
And going back to Hillcox, everything about this kid screamed great, and nobody else saw it.
Yeah, he has all the intangibles. Maybe didn't play on a great team, but here's a guy who played on a surprisingly good team, Joey Mancuso out of SMU, going to Vancouver with a round that's starting off going to having a bunch of their picks.
Yeah, the number 2 seed SMU Mustangs were led highly by Mancuso and this Robert Sharp-led offense as Shelton Atkins goes to the Surf. That's a great pick by the Surf. They're having a great draft.
Very good draft. You could argue the Surf are prepping for not this coming season, but next season with that pickup of Shelton Atkins.
Now, we were saying earlier they were looking like they were getting the defense shored up for next year's quarterback pick, but Atkins might be the future.
Absolutely. I mean, certainly time is slowing down or speeding up, rather, for Dennis Huggins, and you got to wonder if this is not his last season, would it be his last season with the Surf either way?
And if you look at the college leader, the college history books, record books, Atkins at Georgia Southern, of all places, before he transferred to Georgia, Atkins at Georgia Southern has the passing record.
Arizona on the clock after the Blizzard take Matthew Berry, and the Sandstorm go with Mustafa Boyko. A little protection for Arizona on the shopping list. They've went 3 out of 4 picks on the offensive line so far. Well, it tells you they are trying to help Jake Acosta with every pick they have.
Yeah, I'm a little shocked they haven't gone there.
And there's your guy, Glenn Scarborough. You just mentioned him. If you want to talk about elite speed in this draft, Scarborough may be one of the guys.
Yeah, he's one of those guys who went under the radar, and I hate saying under the radar 913 times, but he flew through everything. As Kyler Knight is
there we go. Look at that. Kyler Knight. There was some talk about him pre-draft this week, talking about teams that were looking at quarterbacks, and Kyler Knight, he is a field general. Tell us about Kyler Knight.
For all the hate that Kyler Knight did or didn't get, he deserved it, but he didn't. He was lined up to go to Ole Miss. They transferred. He took a receiver with him, too. They transferred at the last minute. He took them deep into the playoffs. They did great. They made the playoffs. They won the ACC. He did all the right things, but they just couldn't get through the playoff bracket, and he was a great quarterback.
And what a sneaky good draft that they're having in Columbus right now. Look at this list as Dion Rabe, the linebacker, goes from Michigan State to New Orleans, but let's stay on the Crusaders for just a moment. Oscar, look at this. Ian Orji, Corbin Hyde, Josh Kennedy, Kyler Knight. I mean, Knight has a chance to beat out journeyman there, Kenny Landry.
I was about to say, if Knight does not play this year, he doesn't start this year, he should get some playing time at some point. And if he and Orji can hook up, man, that's going to be yards galore.
Absolutely. Wow. I mean, They could be setting themselves up very nicely for the long haul. Let's see what Sacramento does here. More help for Justin Herrera? No. Middle linebacker. It's Santa Claus out of Pittsburgh, Lane Klaus, the run stuffer.
Gosh, as the Peaks, if we could see the Peaks draft so far, they went all in and traded with Dooley and the Wildcats and got Herrera. They went out and got their quarterbacks. They don't have a lot of picks, but they went and got the halfback. They have their quarterback in the trade. They went out and got a good halfback, and now they're starting to shore up, and they could be sneaky good this year too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that it looks like the Grunge are about to pick again here. And they are going with Kona Mapu. Let's take a look at the Seattle Grunge draft so far. That's their third pick. 2 on offensive line to protect Frost. I wonder if that was part of the trade negotiations. And then a receiving tight end in Kona Mapu out of Ohio State.
Yeah, there's the draft we need to look at. Is the Virginia Beach Bombers pick up a linebacker, Sean Rashid. They're having a great draft.
Yeah, the Bombers, Dominic Gooden, George Stephen, Nick Honeycutt, Kashawn Rashid. Wow, that is a fantastic draft for the Bombers. Just sticking and picking at number 20. Let's see who goes next here. Omaha.
I think Mallet, Missouri.
Wow, Freddie Mallet. Tell us about Freddie.
Freddie Mallet and the Missouri Tigers lit up the scoreboard, lit up the Heisman votes, lit up everything as they took advantage of having one of the only 5 or 6 games in week 0 of the season. And Mallet, everybody had Tiger fever early this season, and then the real season hit, and Mallet turned into a plastic hammer.
Yeah, what do you think with Mallet? Has he got a chance to do more at the next level, or is he just going to kind of sit under Bobby Jones and ride out that rookie deal?
And I think Mallet, if he doesn't play in the next year or two, he's going to be filling up our bags at the grocery store in a couple of years.
Yeah, let's see. Hopefully not. He played well, but not well enough. Now we got Vancouver back on the clock. Let's see where they go.
The Mammoth, they're starting their Mammoth-sized draft now. You know, a lot of picks late. They got a halfback, an offensive lineman. They're starting to.
But they started with Lockheed and Bill Armstrong, so talk about a heck of a draft.
And to go into the, I see some comments in the chat. Yeah, Freddie Mallet, really, guys, definitely should have came back a second year, possibly transferred, got some help, but it is what it is, and here he is. He's going to be a Railstorm.
And we've got another Railstorm pick here with Austin Slate. Even though he's a guard, he's more of a pass pro guy out of Alabama than a true run mauler or road grader.
Yeah, and see, creeping up there on the Oscar best bets, Val Vega's now up there. Val Vega is going to be, he's a great quarterback. Whoever picks him up is Robert Sharp, and goes to the Rains.
Speaking of quarterbacks, well, if you want to talk about a guy who maybe is a great clone of George Burrow, Robert Sharp is not a bad backup there.
And you see, a lot of these teams are picking the future in this draft, the first 2 drafts, I should say.
I don't know if they see Sharp as the future, but a decent enough backup that maybe they can flip at some point. I don't think anybody's unseating George Burrow.
Backups are still the future, Skip.
Well, the Riot are on the board. Let's see what they do here. And it's Vince Williams, the linebacker out of Oklahoma. He is also a bit of an edge rusher tweener.
Yeah, that's a great pickup for the Riot. He's gonna make headlines there for Tokyo.
Speaking of making headlines, the Natives back on the clock. Let's see what they do here. It's going to be a tight end, Jamario Talbot out of Miami.
To highlight someone else on the best bets, we still have Gadosh and Ducoge, man. They got to go somewhere soon. But Javier, they're at the number, I believe, 5 spot. He is gonna, as the Wildcats up, and they pick Trey Kaufman, USC.
That's 2 receivers now for Dooley.
And both of them are burner. So definitely looking for speed.
Yeah, you got to say, well, while the Wildcats do have receivers, none of them really have the speed, so that is certainly helpful. Let's see what the Dukes do here to close out round 4. Sam Cross. That is a great selection for Albuquerque out of Penn State.
Yeah, and, to go with the Wildcats pick there, the little run there on receivers with the Dukes and the Wildcats, Trey Kaufman, his quarterback, Brandon Frank, had his second year was a letdown. First year was good, second year was not so good. Kaufman was the bright spot on his stats board. And the Crush was 2 great picks in this draft too. And how can you go without acknowledging that Knight is now a Knight as the Crusaders?
Love that one. Absolutely love that one. What else stands out to you here from round 4?
Well, I mean, everyone that says screw the Brawlers can continue to say screw the Brawlers as they're having a great draft too. And again, we mentioned earlier, sneaky draft are the Surf.
Yeah, I mean, when you have that many picks for trading away the league MVP, you got to hope they get a couple of good guys. But, man, the rich getting richer for a couple teams here tonight. I would also include Albuquerque, who we were just looking at in that. And the Bombers having a great draft. The Crusaders having a great draft. The Prowlers getting 2 FSU defenders in the first round.
Yeah, I still can't get over that. That's a great pick. And it will be interesting to see what Mallet does with the Omaha, if he gets some playtime at all. But definitely interested to see what Vince Williams does at Tokyo.
That is the end. Yeah. Now we are on to round 5, and there goes Duke Hoge.
There you go, as the Grunge finally do something besides protection.
I mean, that's a great pick for Seattle, though, to suddenly have a guy like Duke Hoge, who's definitely an elusive back, could have gone much earlier in this draft, and now Andrew Frost doesn't have to do it all alone.
Yeah, I think Gadosh is a better pickup for him, but I guess they chose their style.
Yeah,
like Hoge, Rasmussen goes to the Mexico City Firebirds.
Yeah, so what is it about Gadosh that you think teams are steering clear of? Because it's certainly a surprise that he's still available here.
I think it's the capability and the fact that he was winding, he was not in the spotlight that Dominic Gooden and Breedlove were under there, as the Wildcats have another pick here.
Well, let's see what they do at the top of round 5. Wildcats have been kind of elusive as far as what Dooley is doing, and wow, he goes with Val Vega, the quarterback out of Nebraska.
Just talking about Val Vega. Val Vega has all the numbers that say he should be a great quarterback in the future. Time will tell.
You think he poses any real threat to Tucker Moore this year?
I mean, I think we have a quarterback battle now. It's Chris Love from Ohio State goes to Orlando, and again, they're having a late but great draft.
Yeah. If you think about the Wildcats and their draft, they've got Shadiq Moore and Christian Bajigalupi in the first round, Romeo Ybarra and Trey Kaufman back-to-back receivers, and then they go with Val Vega.
Yeah, it definitely looks like they're gearing up for a quarterback off-season, preseason battle. But Tucker Moore is a great quarterback. He's a little on the heavy side, but he's got speed and he's got the skill.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've certainly got a lot of teams having some great picks tonight, but now it's almost more about the guys that are still hanging out there.
Yeah, like Sneed, Griffin, Kamara. I'm surprised Kamara's still there.
Well, we've got the Dukes back on the clock. Ooh, and that's a guy who's been hanging out way longer than he should have. Wide receiver TJ Jackson out of TCU. He is a great receiver.
Yes, he is. And I'm just like Kai Boyd with Clemson. I'm surprised he's still here. Yeah, TJ Jackson, he's a great pickup. Another good guy as the Surf pick up another wide receiver. Another great pick here with the wide receiver with Tommy Hendricks.
Yeah, Tommy Hendricks, that's a really solid pick. Certainly a guy who has got the route running that you want, especially a veteran quarterback like Huggins. If it's his last year, give him a rookie who can run some routes, talking about receivers, it's Joey Haynesworth out of Georgia Tech. He is definitely a bit more of a physical type of receiver, but he has got talent.
Yeah, Joey Haynesworth, he's one of those Georgia Tech players with Noah, and surprised he didn't go higher in the draft. His pro day and combine were not that great. As Tyler Akbar,
Wow.
leading quarterback in yards alone, I believe. I believe maybe he had touchdowns, but Tyler Akbar going to the Blizzard, that's a shock.
I will tell you, Tyler Akbar didn't even make the League HQ prospect visualizer. That is
Absolutely, he did not.
That is how little League HQ and company thought of Tyler Akbar. That might be one of the biggest surprises of seeing him go here in the 5th round.
Yeah, a lot of GMs were shocked when they saw his numbers. They had him pegged higher, just going off of yards. But you got to look at the balance, the strength of schedule, who they played, and they just didn't produce when they played in the big games.
That's right. And there goes another Michigan middle linebacker, but he's no Chucky Knox. There's Freddie Capers out of Michigan, and there goes Kai Boyd, one of your guys.
Absolutely. Again, some of these picks look like they're gearing up to have a little battle with Akbar and now wide receiver, but it could just be shoring up depth.
Yeah, certainly. And now we've got, the mojo on the clock. And Taylor Carty out of Illinois, certainly a guy that could have maybe gone in the 3rd or 4th round, but this feels like about the right place for Taylor Carty.
Yeah, and he'll do great with the mojo down in New Orleans, and he's a good pickup, good secondary depth, good pick. As we see in the Oscar's best bets, Ben Linder and Troy Hill have slipped into the talk now. And Ben Linder, who was lighting up, leading Indiana into the playoff. And
Yeah.
a great quarterback that came out of nowhere.
I was going to say, much like some other Indiana quarterbacks, Ben Linder has certainly taken the league by storm and put everyone on notice. Don't know if he'll have that success in the pros, but it depends on where he goes. There's a few teams that have really got quarterbacks at the end of their shelf life here, and so you got to wonder, what teams are going to roll the dice on a young quarterback.
Yeah, and that's something I like about this league is where, there goes Javier Sampson.
Yeah, way late. He should have gone much earlier. He had multiple interceptions, I believe, in the national championship, in the playoffs leading up to the national championship. Sampson would have been much higher on my board.
Oh, absolutely. Sampson should have gone higher. He should have gone in the 3rd round, but I get why he didn't. The nightmare continued to slip away at this draft.
They're certainly trying. Nightmare have had 5 picks so far. Nikhil Banks, their second one of those picks in the 2nd round is George Johnson going, and now the Bombers going with some interior protection out of Syracuse, Jeff Sledge.
Yeah, and the Wildcats are up here, and they went quarterback. They've got their 2 speed receivers. They've got their defensive corner. Let's see what they do here with another pick.
Oh, it's Malik Crane out of Oklahoma State. What can you tell us about Malik, the power back Crane? He's a hefty boy.
Say it with me. Malik Crane is a 2-year player. He's got 2 years of tape at Oklahoma State. He is a bruiser. I don't have his height and weight right now, but he is a big boy, and I know Dooley has been high on getting this team very physical, and that's a great pick late in the 5th round.
I was just going to say, Rakeem Sneed, another great pick here late in the 5th round, a guy that out of Georgia Tech maybe flew under the radar, but I certainly thought was going to go before now.
Yeah, and I believe, I got to think that if the Wildcats needed that great speed back, they would have gone Gadosh, but Malik Crane is definitely a goal line style halfback.
Yeah, and Gadosh, certainly seems like there's something that is turning teams off. But right now, the Blizzard have a chance to take him, but they already took a running back, and it seems like they're going to go linebacker with Jalen Drummond, another edge rusher out of Notre Dame.
Now, as you see, Duke Smoot has snuck into the best bets down at that bottom 12 spot. Heisman finalist, Ohio State running back, great guy. Chris Johnson's up there from Georgia. He was the The other wide receiver was Shelton Atkins at Georgia Southern. Played with Bill Armstrong. Went with Shelton Atkins to Georgia. And they're both up here.
Yeah, absolutely. And certainly, you know, when you have all of those picks, there's something to be said for what you're able to do when you have a plethora of picks. And there goes your guy, Cole Gaydosh. Tell us about Cole Gaydosh, Oscar. We are on to pick one. What is it? 156 now. Now 157 with Bruce Jackie. And there's certainly a lot of guys we could be talking about. We know that, but the picks go faster and more furious now. Yeah, Matt Foster's a guy that everyone probably assumed would get drafted somewhere. You don't want to take a fullback tight end too early, but it's certainly something that you have the option to do when you have a team as stacked as the Natives do. Well, it looks like they want us to talk, so tell us a bit more about round 5 here and what you've thought so far, Oscar.
That as the Natives never fail to, as they say, I'm muted.
No, you're back now. You're back now.
Okay, absolutely. What I was saying is Matt Foster going to the Natives never fails to disappoint. Or never disappoints. The Rain picking up Gaydosh, that's probably my pick of the round this year, or of this round. Malik Crane going to the Wildcats, great pick. He's gonna knock some heads down. Javier Sampson, great pick. Duke Hoge, Joey Hainsworth, Tyler Akbar. Again, we gotta see what he can do in the pros. I don't see him really doing anything of value.
Agreed.
Speaking of value, Val Vega, is he going to be in a quarterback battle with Tucker? Who knows? And the Fury just continue to get stronger for Nigel Crothers, getting some offensive line help.
And, you know, we're certainly at the end of round 5 here. We want to thank you all so much for hanging in with us. We know it's not a multi-day draft spectacular, but we know our fans and our GMs like to just burn right through this. They want to know where guys are going and who's on their team and who's the best left. And then you can see quite a list of the best available players here. Any guys really standing out to you as logical picks here as we move into the 6th round?
I mean, the not for the Rain necessarily, but we just spoke on him, Ben Linder and Troy Hill. Troy Hill had kind of a letdown year for the Crimson Tide. We'll see if he can if that translates, if his skills can translate to a pro spot. But Duke Smoot and Chris Johnson are my 2 best bets. I know they're not high on the list right here because again it's need and not skill. But Chris Johnson and Duke Smoot are gonna do someone very good in the draft team.
And Donald Wilder, a receiver a little unheralded, a slot guy out of Texas Tech, but that just goes to show you not all GMs see the board the same, and they're going to start flying the picks here. Gideon Boozer going to the Firebirds.
And the Firebirds, they've had a pretty decent draft so far. I believe they had a first pick, and then they didn't pick again until the 3rd or 4th round. And the Grunge go offensive line again.
Yeah, the Grunge, I feel like they could field a whole new offensive line with this draft. But yeah, the Firebirds started out with that kind of surprising Brian Pillman pick, but not surprising if you know the Firebirds roster.
Yeah, I mean, again, in my first, I did 2 mock drafts for the league, and the first one, I believe I had Pillman going to Mexico City.
Yeah, I believe you did.
And there's another Ole Miss guy going to the Crusaders.
We got the Marauders here. And see what they do. They could certainly use help on defense, and sure enough, there you go. Michael Duhan, the coverage safety out of New Hampshire.
Yeah, and the Railstormer up again. They've had quite a few picks also. In that first round, they traded with the Wildcats to move 10 spots back from 7 to 17.
Go with
and they've just really done plugging spots of need in this draft, not going too flashy.
So they go with a tight end, Owen Carroll, who's a bit of a red zone threat. The Mammoth going with our second fullback of the night, J.T. Swain out of Clemson.
The Natives started a rush.
Yeah, clearly. As the Surf, are they going to go fullback too? No, they go Notre Dame, Terry Ismail on the defensive tackle.
Yeah, the Surf said, we're not playing that game. We're going to continue having a great draft. And we got a need.
Oh, but Omaha might have started the run on late round tight ends. Najee Washington out of Wisconsin getting some love here.
Danny Gardocki has come up into the best bet stuff.
Yep, Danny G.
Michigan.
Ooh, and Forrest
my
Griffin.
top 50 players of the year that I did, Gardocki was left off the list to let a certain person onto the list, and Gardocki was in that spot.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
I did feel that winning the national championship should get you a top 50 spot. So Gardocki is honorable. He's, I guess you could say, the number 51 player of the team.
Or 50B. The Prowlers here going with Trent Swain. More beef for the defensive line. Maybe building a new heavy lunch bunch there in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. As Trent Swain, North Carolina defensive tackle. Good pickup there late in the 6th round for the Prowlers.
And now Karma Kamara out of Utah, the speed rusher, getting his name picked.
There's Kamara. We had him in the best bets. We mentioned him earlier. I'm surprised he's still here. It's a great skill.
Oh, here we go. Noah Roberts going to the Mojo.
This was you got to think, it is the 6th round, so who knows, but it feels like a reach for Noah Roberts from Georgia Tech, but we'll see what they can do with him.
Yep, they got a pretty good starter with Zach Burr as the Bombers go with Dwayne Payne here, and the Brawlers back on the clock. What are they going to do here? It's a safety from Michigan, but it's not Danny G. It's Ross Wint, who, if the Michigan faithful know, is certainly more of the all-around safety, kind of a Swiss Army knife, whereas Danny G was certainly just a zone cover ball hawk, center fielder.
As the Mojo pick again and get a defensive player, linebacker Sean Vines.
Prowlers back on the clock. Let's see what they do here. They could use, just about anything at this point in the draft. Duke Smoot, there you go.
There goes the Buckeye to the Pittsburgh Prowlers. He's going to be the future for the Prowlers.
Oh, and the Prowlers getting in on starting a running back run here. Paul Abiamari out of Florida, another receiving back. And let's see if the Wildcats go running back too.
As you see, the Wildcats have 3 of the next 4 picks as they get another burner here they get pick up Chris Johnson.
Yeah, and Chris Johnson can also play in the slot, so that's kind of a win-win for them. And then let's see what the Mob do here. Oh, they're going to go receiver as well. Mike Terrell, a possession guy out of Wisconsin. Wildcats back-to-back picks here now, 183 and 184. Let's see what they do. Oh, they go kicker, Randy Beach.
Randy Beach, the kicker.
Wow.
That'll make Dean happy.
Absolutely. Let's see who they pick with their next pick here. And it's the other Michigan safety, Danny Gardocki, the center fielder. Wow, what a run of picks there. Chris Johnson, Randy Beach, and Danny Gardocki all in short order for the Wildcats.
And with Christian Bacigalupi, that secondary is starting to look pretty dangerous for the Wildcats.
As the Sting take a center out of Georgia.
As I just want to mention, see some of the comments in the chat. Randy Beach, the kicker, was nothing to sneeze at as he won a lot of awards and stats leader for the kicker.
And they go Devontae Turner at defensive end.
And look at the rain coming in late with some hot picks.
The Fury probably going, I was going to say secondary. They could use all the help they could get there. They go with a total complete corner and Devin Judge out of Connecticut. Riot back on the clock.
Langford's still on the board. That's a shock. As he, a lot of GMs probably didn't have him picked up, but he's going to be a good spot.
Yeah, who are the guys that are just screaming to come off the board at you now?
Right now, Spencer Littlejohn from Coastal Carolina, he's a huge pickup that could do some damage later. As Addison Vernon goes.
Another kicker. Their run has begun.
Ben Linder, I'm surprised he's still here. The Surf with another pick in this round.
Butler out of LSU. Again, a team that we didn't get to see a ton of, but he's a quality player. And to end the round here, let's see what the Bombers do. Any of these guys from your big board? No, it's Nelson Putasi out of Arkansas. And we have got one round left to go. What do you think of this sixth round here? Kickers and triple picks and all sorts of stuff. Fullbacks, all stuff going on here in the sixth round.
Yeah, again, the rain looked good. The Marauders are consistent. The Railstorm are plugging holes. The Mammoth are good. The Wildcats are filling a lot of spots with their multiple picks. We had two kickers go. The Surf still looked good. But something that's I like Sam Ware there at 165 going to Columbus. He's going to be a game changer at some point in his season. Watch him to start by the time the season ends. And
absolutely.
Noah Roberts, is that a reach?
Yeah, that's a good question with Roberts. I mean, they have Zach Burr. They don't really need quarterback, but in the sixth round, why not? Why not take a flyer on it? Are there any teams you want to look at their draft so far?
The chat wants to see the Natives draft right now. Again, we keep mentioning how good he's doing, so let's see.
All right, let's take a look at the Natives draft so far. Most recently, 6th and 5th round picks of a kicker and a fullback, but tight end Jamario Talbot, halfback David Gideon, Chauncey Marshall and Jalen Vildor and Gage Shelby. Just a lot of quality players.
Yeah, nothing flashy, nothing that's going to pop out of the skillet and burn your skin, but just a consistent, solid draft.
And talk about kickers. Oh, well, it's a kicker, not a receiver. I don't know why it says receiver there. We'll have to shoot the guy in the graphics truck. But the kicker from Michigan goes to the Hoplites. Jose Caraval had quite the season at Michigan. I guess you could call him kicker number 3 from this draft.
Yeah, and John Torres, free safety for the Grunge. That's another great pick. As it'll be interesting to see if Spencer Littlejohn gets picked up. He's my underdog to say for this round to see if he gets picked. And Ben Linder's got to go somewhere. I can see Troy Hill going undrafted, but you never know just because of the name. But Ben Linder should go somewhere.
Well, his center just went somewhere to Orlando. Jamie Farrell, the center out of Indiana, going before his quarterback. Meanwhile, you've got Tom Ross out of Troy, kind of an unlikely guy, but he's a run-stuffing middle linebacker. No way around it.
Yeah, we saw some Troy games this year. They did well. And if you're not familiar with our league, we do have relegation. So some colleges that are in positions that you're not used to them being in, they're in there. So go look at our conference alignment, go see where your favorite teams play, and then go make a player and join the league.
Absolutely. Morris Cannon going there from Penn State, the power back, going to Vancouver, Honolulu on the clock. See what they do here. They already went quarterback. They're going wide receiver with Stephon Leach out of UCF.
Yeah, UCF had a great game, a great season. They had more of a run team. They had a great run. USF and Ohio had great running offensive this year as Danny Lanford gets picked up for the Oh, they have back-to-back picks here with the
They
Bulls.
sure do, and they're ready to pick them right away. And oh my goodness, they're if reports are right, out of the truck, another fullback, Nat Mullen out of Florida State, the national championship winning fullback, gets picked here in the 7th round.
Thanks, Baker.
Yeah. Does the Sandstorm go with Freddie Smith, the cornerback out of Vanderbilt? He could have gone maybe 5th or 6th round, but this is where somebody valued him enough to go.
Again, it's need, and I love that the GMs are picking based off need as opposed to want.
That's right. And the Crush go with Gregory Post, kind of a power rusher out of UCLA. And the Mammoth going to load up on defensive line again. They're going with defensive tackle Max Durbin out of Notre Dame. Man, we had some good defensive tackles from Notre Dame this year. Now we've got the Wildcats 207 here. See who they go with. Another cornerback. They're going with Andrew Dobson out of Arizona State.
Hey, just another chance for us to say Dobson.
Dobson here. Oh, the Strangers, here you go. Just what you were looking for. Ben Linder out of Indiana gets taken in the 7th round by the Austin Strangers.
That's going to be marked on my packet to follow and see what Linder does. He's definitely one of my favorites. As Little John now goes to the Peaks. Great pick there.
Wow. Little John finally. So they've got a couple backs going to Sacramento there. And the Ice Pack, who started their draft off with Billy Ray Bannon, giving him somebody in front of him, Trayvon Humphreys out of Georgia Tech. Meanwhile, the Lions getting Bobby McMillan, the running back out of UNLV. I don't know. Some of your best bets here look like they may not make the cut.
Again, man, it's based on Sean Summers has got to go somewhere. Sean Summers, I believe he was a junior that came out. I'm surprised he stayed in. He came out this year. He should have stayed for another year, as he led a lot of the season for sacks.
And the Brawlers take the first punter, Walter Schuster out of Tulane. He is a coffin corner expert, but he does not have the biggest leg. But I guess playing in that dome, not as big of a problem for them.
Yeah, again, playing that dome, so don't have to care about the air.
As Callow comes off the board here, I would have thought that A&M safety definitely went in the 4th or 5th round, but 7th is where he was valued.
There's Swift, another, I believe, Ohio State.
We are running on empty here. We are barreling towards the end of this thing as Vancouver goes back to the well on the offensive line, J.J. Rogers.
Again, I'm surprised to see Troy Hill going to the Bombers, but congrats to him.
And the Sharks going with Enrique Rivers, a bit of a hybrid edge rusher out of West Georgia. And that is Jalen Kelly out of Georgia Tech. These might be some of the guys that you go, who? And that's who went.
God, if you don't know who they are, go watch the game. Georgia Tech has.
Here you go, Sean Summers out of Ohio State.
There goes the Buckeye.
Finally hearing his name called as the Fury are ready to take somebody. Let's see what they do here. Oh, wow. Casey Guidry out of Oregon.
Yeah, and Casey Guidry out of Oregon, he's one of those guys, he could be starting in the next year or two. It'll be interesting to see what the Fury does, where they go in the future.
Yeah, he certainly could. He has that potential. His tight end, Timmy Knoll out of Georgia. Bit of a move tight end. Goes to the Mammoth here. And we are wrapping up. Oh, punter number 2, Cliff Davey. He's an award winner. He's got a booming leg, that punter out of Houston.
Well, Firebirds will pick Mr. Irrelevant.
Yeah, let's see what they do for Mr. Irrelevant here. And it's a running back, Luis Guardado. Out of Auburn.
If you're saying Luis Guardado, we are too, but that was a great pick, great draft.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for our draft here tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for being a part of the Pro League season that is on its way now that the draft's complete. Oscar, you got anything else before we sign off?
I just want to say it's been a great season here in the college season. Year 3, for the Rivals Football League, and I will be signing off. I'll be handing the mic over to the commissioner back and scouting and recruiting the next class of the college players for your enjoyment.
There you go. Well, you've heard it here from Oscar, his last time on call for at least a little bit. So in the meantime, it's your boy, Skip Lloyd. Thank you so much for joining us here at the 2026 Football Rivals Pro League Draft, and it's all thanks to you. So we'll catch you soon on League HQ and in the Discord. For now, it's your boys, Oscar and Skip, signing off.